What's going on? It's your boy Sheep the Wise. Welcome back to Vader's Lair. I hope you guys are having a fantastic start to your week. Happy Monday to everybody out there. Let's get this rolling though. We got some Star Wars news to cover and some Andor to preview. Episode 7 tomorrow. I can't wait to see you guys for the watch party. Let's do it. Welcome back into the lair, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Let's get this going. So, let's recap the first half of Andor now that we have seen episodes 1 through 6. It's been a pretty wild ride, and I've seen some people talking about there not being stormtroopers yet. Well, I think they're coming. I think they're coming in the second half of the season, and I've really been enjoying this slow burn. I don't know about you guys, but the build up for these arcs through, the first 2 episodes building to that climactic third that we got in episode 3 and in episode 6. It's been a friggin' wild ride for me, and I've definitely been enjoying it. Good to see everybody in the chat. Reeferman Reviews, the talented Mr. Griffin, Smalls, my man. Hope you're doing well, Smalls, and the GOAT himself. Welcome in, Tim. Good to see you here, my brother. Reeferman Reviews, good to see you too. Feed Rocket, Stanley's, Dale, good to see all you guys. Hope you're doing well. Let's get this going though. Let me know what you guys are thinking about Andor so far through the first 6 episodes. I see you too, Lair Rose and Baymax. Good to see you here, Baymax. Much love to you, my friend. Ashhammer, what up? Alright. So, as I was talking about, I love the way they're doing these arcs and everything. But I honestly think recently I heard that the 7th episode, which is the next upcoming one, is the only one that seems to be a one-off. Now, I don't know any spoilers or anything, so don't think, no spoilers here right now. But based on the directors and kind of the people that worked on certain episodes, I think from what I saw on the list for the remaining 6 episodes, this next episode is like a standalone sort of episode where this episode is a one-off director that's not directing any of the other episodes. It could be a mini arc unto itself potentially. It could build off some of the stuff we saw last episode. I honestly think it could be an episode about Mon Mothma and her getting away from the Empire. We barely got any of her last episode, and I feel like there's been tension building the last 2 or 3 episodes with her and with her family and with just the Empire and everything. So if there's just kind of a one-off episode based on this one director that's doing the next episode, and then the 2 episodes after that will be a little arc, or I think it might be the 3 episodes after that, and then it'll be the last 2 or 3 that is an arc into itself as well. Kind of glad Jason didn't go deep on the spoiling Andor. It's kind of nice not knowing the episodes in and out before seeing them. It is, right, Baymax? It is. The man, she. What up, Dan the man? Ashhammer says gonna be a mini arc about Andor deciding he doesn't want just credits anymore, and he wants to do something bigger because of Nemec's journal or whatever. So it's its own episode arc. That is definitely possible. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like an episode where we're following Mon Mothma, and then it's kind of a side arc where we get a little bit of Andor going through Nemec's manifesto. I can't wait for him to read it. It's going to be life-changing for him, you know what I mean? And after, we're going to get some of that, and then I think we might get some of Cyril Karn as well. Or Cyril Khan? I always get his name mixed up. I think it's Cyril Karn. Feed Rocket says, how are you liking Andor so far, my guy? Dude, loving it so far. Definitely like a 9.5 out of 10 for me. I have no complaints. It's great. I love a spy thriller. I love that it's set in Star Wars. I think the first 6 episodes have been great, even with the slow burn. I'm a slow burn kind of guy, you know what I mean? So I love the building with the first 2 episodes, and the 3rd episode getting that, him busting out and getting the finish of the flashbacks, which, speaking of, I think we could get some more flashbacks maybe in this episode or in the next 2 arcs after that. Would love a Moth Mommy episode, dude. Tim, we need it. We need a Moth Mommy episode. Do it. Alright. Cyril Karn, yes, thank you. Alright, I said it right. The dinner party, says Ashhammer. It could be a dinner party. That would be lit. I would love an episode dedicated to Mon Mothma and the dinner party. And we've seen it in the trailers, so that would be amazing. That would be amazing. I'm digging the mature vibes. Me too, man. Dan the Man says, first, I think Luthen will be revealed to be one of the Jedi Temple guards that got away. Interesting. That would be kind of cool. I wouldn't doubt if there's something to do with that. I actually like Star Wars Meg's. Star Wars Meg had this theory that he could be like a friend of Jocasta Nu, or just something to do with her, because you kind of wonder, how did he get all these Jedi artifacts? And well, Jocasta Nu would probably have the most access to stuff like that. I don't know if that's really the case. It's kind of a stretch maybe, but it's a good thought. It's a really I like that theory. I'd like an episode about Luthen, dude. That would be dope. That would be dope. Baymax says, I honk. I think episode 7 is the Empire cracking down on Aldhani and Ferrix, and Cassian, Vel, Luthen, Mon Mothma seeing the consequences of on those people and the population and the Empire basically paying back. The Empire strikes back. That's a good thought too. I would not be surprised if that's kind of what goes down. I don't know though, because it's like a one-off kind of episode. Maybe it's Mon Mothma. You could be right. It could be all of them, and that could be part of Mon Mothma's arc though. That could be like the ending of the episode. Like, obviously everybody found out what happened there, but it could be like she's at this dinner party trying to convince people to not, do this awful stuff to Aldhani, and to put occupation there, and she's not able to, and she has to get away somehow or something. Tim says, I love the scene where nobody was listening to Mon Mothma. That's like all the scenes. Yeah. Until she becomes a rebel, She already is a rebel. She is the rebel, you know what I mean? Mon Mothma's a G. Love that girl. Ashhammer says, maybe it's all about the Empire freaking out about losing 80 mil. Hey, we have plenty more. Luthen may be the guardian of the wills. Interesting. Mike the Stan Show Porter, it is very good to see you in the chat, my friend. How you doing, Mr. Positivity? He says, it's a very good show. Indeed it is. It's excellent. A lot of the discussion I've seen on Twitter and around the space of Star Wars lately, especially today, has been about the Andor audience viewership. I don't even think it's the viewership. It's like the audience demand. So I guess it's the viewership. Everybody's talking about how it's lower than all of the live action stuff based on this. I don't know if it's a Nielsen chart or I don't know. It's been making the rounds on Twitter though that it's got the lowest viewership, and it might. It definitely might. It probably does. I'm not gonna lie, but I think it has the potential to blow up. I mean, you think about it. She-Hulk was going on recently. We also have the House of the Dragon, which, gotta say, I really like that show. But I like Andor just as much, if not more. You know what I mean? I think if people, got into it, they would definitely like it. But I honestly credit some of it to, people might not know Andor. They might not be as interested. But I promise you, now that shows are starting to fall off, the show is past the 6 episode mark. I've already seen the numbers starting to go up a little bit on the channel here itself. So I think Andor is here to stay. I think it's going to blow up this next back half of the season. I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy it. And there's going to be some really, really good episodes. This has been a slow burn show. Let's remember that. So this slow burn is starting to kick up. And that's kind of what happens in spy thriller movies as well. So I think we're starting to pick up here. And it's going to be a crazy back half of the season that I hope a lot of people tune in for. Yes, exactly. Baymax said it perfectly. Let me stop you there. A lot of the discussion I've seen on Twitter. Boom. It's not even people hating on it, though. A lot of people, of course, will defend Andor. A lot of people I've seen liking it. Honestly, most of the discussion I've seen around Andor has been overwhelmingly positive. So I hope people give it more of a chance than maybe they have so far, and I hope the audience demand continues to grow as House of the Dragon finale is just a week away. She-Hulk finale was last week, so the demand for Andor might be increasing here. Ashhammer says, I know the Empire got money, but I think them getting 80 mil taken that easily is gonna F up morally, since the soldiers are in the Empire for money. No, I hear you. That can make a lot of them maybe not want to work for them. But like I said, the Empire has plenty more. Now, maybe the ISB is going to be like, whoa, and they're going to try to do something about it. Either way, that's a big deal. Someone having the balls to take 80 mil from the Empire. You know what I mean? That's pretty ballsy. I think Andor will come across a hooded Zabrak who will have information that will cripple the Empire. In exchange, Andor will take the Zabrak to Malachor. I don't know where you're getting this information, but I like where you're going. Interesting thoughts there. Interesting thoughts there, Dan the Man. Where we at? Ashhammer says, I just don't think Andor is as big of a draw as Mando, Boba, Kenobi. So a lot of the people I know are waiting for the show to be over to watch it. Interesting. I think this will be a great show to binge. I'll tell you that much. And I would not be surprised if the viewership goes up here at the back half of the season. Tim even says here, yeah, I think more and more people are waiting to binge these days, but it's just a feeling. You might be right. A lot of people like the Netflix way where they just drop it all at once, and maybe that'll help next week's awesome drop that I'm freaking hyped for. I can't think of the name right now. I don't know why. God, why the frick is my brain blanking? The Jedi show. Why am I? Help me out, chat. I don't know why my brain doesn't work. The Braves are out of the playoffs. More time for Andor. True. People have been watching football and baseball. The teams are starting. The Jets are beating people these days. You know what I mean? 4-2. Go Jets. It's a rough go out there, especially there's a lot of Packers fans. Packers aren't doing so hot. Tails, thank you. Oh, I don't know why my brain could not work, Dan the Man. Tales of the Jedi comes out next week, and that's going to drop all at once. So that's where I was talking about just now. All 6 episodes of Tales of the Jedi are going to drop at once, so maybe that could help the show, especially the fact that it's following Count Dooku and Ahsoka, and it's 6 episodes. I think a lot of people might tune in for Tales of the Jedi, and I would not be surprised if the audience demand for that is even higher than some of the live action stuff. What up, Leia? Hope you're doing well. Ashhammer says, nobody is worried about Andor spoilers, so they don't mind waiting to watch instead of keeping up to date. Fair enough, I guess. Yeah. I hope people tune in, man. Just, if people start asking you about that Andor show, you tell them to watch it. You watch that show. The Stanley says, the Guardians of the Wills were supposed to protect the Kyber Temple in Jeddah. I'd assume Jedi went there for Kyber to use the lightsaber. It's possible they entrust them to look after the Jedi artifacts. Wow, I like where your head's at. That's intriguing, Stanley. That's great. And as a former member, Luthen would know where they are kept. Yeah, he would. Leia says, yes, cannot wait for Tales of the Jedi. Me, flipping 2. It's a week away. Well, 8 days, I guess. So it's around the corner, though. It's going to be lit next week, getting Andor and 6 episodes of Tales of the Jedi. It's going to be a fun night. Make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for that stream, because we do watch parties here on the channel. It'll be a fun time. I don't know why I couldn't remember Tales of the Jedi. That was so funny. Alright, so as far as the rest of the series goes, we were talking about Andor reading the manifesto, potentially seeing seeing Mon Mothma, I think we could get that dinner party episode here. And then the next 2 arcs, I wouldn't be surprised if we get Saw will probably be the last arc. So I think that we could get Andor going back to Luthen, or Luthen kind of going back to Andor, and that's where we get the scene with Luthen's ship that we get in the trailers. And then the Saw Gerrera arc would probably be the last thing that we get, maybe going into season 2. And that would be pretty crazy, because you could introduce a lot of characters with Saw Gerrera and a lot of different stuff with the Rebels. And heck, going into season 2, it's going to be basically the start of Star Wars Rebels. So who knows what we could see at the end of season 1 here. That's pretty friggin' good. The Stanleys, you're blowing my mind with that. What if Luthen is a member of the Guardians of the Wills? That's the same group that Chirrut Imwe, the blind guy in Andor, is a part of, and his homie with the big gun. I always forget his name. Can't remember it now, but let me figure out what all the Star Wars news is, because there's been some crazy stuff going on lately that you guys should probably hear about. So Ahsoka's had a couple of recent, I guess you could say, casting rumors. Neither is confirmed as far as I know. I mean, one of them might have been, I honestly might have made that one up too, so 50-50 chance on that one. But the first one has been the Thrawn casting. Not gonna lie, I would be a huge fan of Matt Smith being Thrawn. That would be amazing. But it's not. I don't think it is. I think it's gonna be the same dude that voiced him, which is the brother Lars Mikkelsen, I believe. Yeah, Mads is the other one. Lars Mikkelsen is once again rumored to be Thrawn. And that's great, man. I love him as Thrawn in Star Wars Rebels, being the voice of him. He would be a great live-action Thrawn, and I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. Matt Smith, the guy that's in the House of the Dragons, though, and he was also one of the doctors from Doctor Who. He would definitely be a good Thrawn. He'd be great. I'm down for that. So that's the latest on who could be potentially playing Thrawn. And then this part could be spoilery, but I might have made this up. I think I saw it on Twitter, which again, who trusts Twitter these days? You know what I mean? Could have easily been made up, but it was a very interesting one where it was one of the daughters of I can't think of his name now. I'm just blanking all over the place. So one of the daughters of the Game of Thrones characters, or the House of the Dragons characters, of Matt Smith and his wife, or his second wife, I guess you could say, when he was married to the Valarian, their kids, one of those girls is rumored to be, I'm terrible at this right now, I wish I had it up, she's rumored to be playing a young Ahsoka. I'm definitely for it if that is the case. It might have even been the wife herself. I literally can't remember. I was trying to find the article or whatever before this, and I couldn't. So again, take this with a massive grain of salt. That's a big one here. I could be making this up for all I know. I don't think I am. I'm pretty crazy though, but I think that was the rumor, and I'm down for it. I'm down for a young Ahsoka scene. I think that we could get some Clone Wars flashbacks in the Ahsoka, which I've been saying for a long time. I would love if they did that. Ahsoka could be full of goodies, whether it's, all the Rebels characters that we're potentially getting. Clone Wars flashbacks would be amazing. Seeing Thrawn at some point in season 1 Ahsoka's gonna be great, man. I cannot wait for Ahsoka. They can do so much with that show, and honestly, I hope Ahsoka goes for like 3 to 5 seasons, man. Dave has the capacity to tell whatever story he wants with all the characters he wants, from the Mandalorian, Luke Skywalker. I mean, there's so many things that he could do with the Ahsoka character and her story going forward. I cannot wait for it, man. I cannot wait. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Talented Mr. Griffin says, do you think she She holocrons, just copies. So do you think that the holocrons that Luthen has are to scale or just copies? That's a good question. So the holocrons in Luthen's office easily could be something else, or a replica, or someone just emulating them or knowing about them. But again, he could be a guardian of the will. He has all this other force stuff. He has shrines to the Father, Daughter, and the Son. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how he has this stuff, but he has it. So it definitely could be real. Those definitely could be real Kybers. I know they're a little bit larger than what we typically think, or not Kybers, but holocrons. I know they're a bit larger than what we typically know, but who's to say they couldn't be real? They very well could be replicas or copies, though, to your point. I'm not sure. I'm going to say that they're probably real. They're probably real. Doesn't mean any of them can open it. I want to see what the Empire is going to do, says Mandalorian Martin. Me too. They're probably definitely going to retaliate hard. It's going to be wild. I watched Rogue One again last night. Hey, that's what's up, Smalls. I saw that too, Sheev. The girl actually really looks like young Ahsoka. See, that's what I'm saying. She does. Is anyone expecting a big twist in this series? So you're talking about Andor. Is anyone expecting a big twist in the Andor series? No. I mean, there doesn't really need to be. It's a spy thriller, you know what I mean? I guess there could be a big twist, because that does happen in spy thrillers often. Maybe Luthen is part of the Empire or something. I don't know. Maybe. I guess I'm not expecting one, but I wouldn't be surprised if there is one. Although it would be a surprise. And that would be a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. Would nice to see a Maul series? Dude, I'm all about a Maul series, Mandalorian Martin. I mean, have we ever seen a holocron in live action, says Ashton. Yeah, we've seen one in what is it called? Rise of Skywalker. We've seen one in Rise of Skywalker. It was called a Wayfinder technically, but it was like a holocron that was modified into whatever a Wayfinder is, I guess you could say. But yeah, I don't think we've seen too many holocrons in live action, to your point. 30 years between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens is plenty of time to show and TV series. It definitely is. It definitely is a lot of time. And they definitely could do a lot of stories with Ahsoka. I'm telling you, Dave. Do it, Dave. Do it. Ashton says, I mean, have we ever seen... No, yeah, I read that one. Live action Captain Phasma series? Interesting. I don't know if they would ever do that, but that would be really different and cool. Kind of like the Andor series, you know? Something that I noticed between She-Hulk and Andor, and shout out to the homie Tim for kind of pointing this out to me, but the two shows are very different from their respective series, and they almost look at the universes from a different perspective. You know what I mean? It's especially for those of you guys that have seen all of She-Hulk and all of Andor to this point, like they're very different shows from what we know from Marvel and from Star Wars, but I like different. It's definitely a cool different, and they're both very grounded. They feel more real almost, at least more real life. I mean, most of She-Hulk is set right here in LA, so for me it feels right at home for a lot of it, and different parts, and just her perspective in that aspect. And then of course I really just liked the She-Hulk character. I thought she was very different in general, and you know, I like different. And as for the Andor series, spy thriller in Star Wars is quite different. We've had the genre throughout, you know, Star Wars Rebels and different episodes of the Clone Wars too. You know, George liked to go the spy thriller route sometimes, and it's cool to see it in live action. It's different to see it in live action, and for it to be the Andor character, who is, you know, the one dude that died in Rogue One, it's cool to see the perspective of a grittier empire, a grittier, this grittier side of the rebellion. It's wild. It's freaking awesome to see, man. Where was I in the chat? Don says, theory based on discussion around the Discord. Did Cinta kill the hostages? Opinion doesn't matter regardless of reality. The Empire will report slaughter of civilians, and I don't think she did. So you're talking about the girl that was left there, correct? I don't think she did. I think she's still there. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if that scene that we got in the trailers with the giant Star Destroyer flying over, I wouldn't be surprised if that's Aldhani and that she's still there, and then we see that in the next episode or two when the Empire comes to kind of take back Aldhani, or give him the business on Aldhani, and she might be there still to face the wrath of it. So maybe she did kill the hostages. I didn't think she did. I didn't think so. Ash says, I still want a Clone Wars style TV show about the original trilogy characters. Dude, that would be dope, as Tim says. That would be sick. I'm all for it. I would love that in an animated form, because it would be kind of hard to do, in my opinion, in a live action now. But man, I think all of us want to see a story about more stories of the OG trilogy characters. You know what I mean? Like, we all want to see that. Dude, I'm down to revisit the Old Republic too, Mandalorian Martin. I think we will one day. I hope that the new Old Republic game, or the remaster, whatever it is, I hope that new game, the Knights of the Old Republic game, is canon. I hope it's like a new thing. You know what I mean? I hope it's a revisiting, but a new thing unto its own. Kind of like what Marvel does with their movies, how they kind of adapt the comics but change it up into something that fits for their universe. Hey, good to see you in the chat, Padawannabe. I hope you're doing well. Elias Vela Gomez, how you doing? Don't worry about being late. Good to see you in the chat. Alright, so I think that was the bulk of the Star Wars news that I've been caught up on. I mean, there was an Ezra casting, although we talked about that in a stream a little bit ago. Let me check out the Discord and see what else we got. How are we feeling about episode 7 of Andor tomorrow? What are you guys thinking? What are you guys thinking? The goat. Sun's out, guns out. What up, Star Wars Obsession? Hope you're well, man. Ooh, some people talking about Tales of the Jedi. I think there was early reviews. So, okay. Alright, so you guys want to hear some reviews of Tales of the Jedi since it comes out next week? Spoiler free. Definitely animated, like exactly like Clone Wars. How they brought back Anakin and did all the Jedi. Dude, yeah. I'm down for an animated show of the OG characters. They gotta do it. Talented Mr. Griffin says, do you think in Tales they will take parts of the Ahsoka novel and we get to see her cleanse or heal her kybers? I like that question. I'm gonna abstain from answering because I kind of know already. But if I had to answer, I think it'd be really cool to see that. And in terms of taking things from the book, Dave might change a few things, but I think he will take things from the book. I believe the author of the book, gosh, can't believe I friggin' forgot her name. Claudia Gray? That might be a different author. Oh, E.K. Johnston. E.K. Johnston, I believe. My apologies. I think the author had said on Twitter, of course, that those are always Dave's stories, and she's happy that she was able to give the story, and she'd be happy for Dave to change it into his own kind of version. You know what I mean? And the fact that he's going to adapt it or take straight from it, I'm not exactly sure. I think it would be awesome to see that, man. I would love to see her cleansing the Kybers. We're watching Tales of the Jedi next week. Of course, OG. I'm an animated Star Wars stan. You guys know that. Come on. So, I mean, anytime that there's a new animated thing, I'm probably even more excited than for a live action thing. I love animated Star Wars, bro. Some of my favorite Star Wars things ever have been in the animated space. And Tales of the Jedi, when I heard that was coming out, and when I figured out what it was at Star Wars Celebration when I was there, I was so excited, man. So excited to see this. We're literally getting the backstory of Ahsoka and the backstory of Dooku that we've never really got. Like, we've had the books and everything, which, of course, those are awesome, but not everybody reads them, unfortunately, and which kind of sucks. And they're still going to adapt from those and make it into something hopefully even greater. And I'm all about that. I am all about seeing these stories. I'm all about Dooku. I'm all about Ahsoka and getting these flashback kind of stories, especially in the awesome animation style of the Clone Wars Season 7 and everything. You know what I mean? It's gotten even better. Dave Filoni, as far as I know, is working on 5 out of the 6 episodes, or he wrote, directed, and he was the main dude on this project. I'll tell you that. So it gets me excited. It gets me excited to see this, man. It's Dave back in an animated form, and I'm all about Star Wars, man. I'm all about the animated side of Star Wars. I'm hyped for young Dooku. Me too, man. Yo, good to see you in the chat, Nerd Mafia. You and me both, Tim. Yeah, I think we're all hyped for young Dooku. It's gonna be lit. Plus, we're getting Qui-Gon, a young Mace Windu. Like, this show is gonna be off the. Ooh, it's gonna be good. It's good. It's gonna be good, man. We definitely watching it next week, though. Tales of the Jedi episodes are 10 to 15 minute-ish duration. Okay, that kind of makes sense. I hope that they were gonna be a little bit longer. I think. Let me get into this review in a second here, and I think there might have even been something that I saw. Okay, I don't see it here, but basically what I'm hearing from here, Tales of the Jedi early review thread. The direct said, Tales of the Jedi brings an emotional blast to the past that fills in some exciting blanks in the prequel trilogy. Short enough to make for an easy watch while providing an intriguing new detail about 2 key players from both sides of the Force. A must-see for Star Wars fans. Just on that, you got me hooked, man. I'm definitely down, and it does sound like it could be some shorter episodes to your guys' points. But, I mean, Clone Wars was always 10 to 15 minutes, and when you get 3 10, 15-minute episodes, let's say they're closer to 15, hopefully, then I'm going to say about 45 minutes for each character. That's a good story. That's a good length. And I can't wait to see it, man. It's going to be a freaking good watch. And we're going to be able to rewatch it over and over and over again because it's 6 episodes to that point. I can't wait for it. Wait, when does it come out? So next week is when Tales of the Jedi comes out. It comes out next Tuesday. So there's an episode 7 of Andor comes out tonight. Episode 8 comes, or not tonight, sorry. It comes out tomorrow night at midnight, so Wednesday technically. Next week on Wednesday, we will get, I think it's on Wednesday. It might be Tuesday, actually. One of those days, though, I'm going to double check. You got me all mixed up, Green Bear. It comes out, I think, next Wednesday alongside Andor. All 6 episodes. Never cared for animated stuff until Disney Plus and Clone Wars. Now I understand all the outsized Filoni worship at conventions. Exactly, Suru. It's wild, man. I grew up with the Clone Wars, and in high school I didn't watch as much because it was going for a long time, but I grew up watching all of those episodes in the early seasons, and all the way almost up to where Maul was, you know what I mean? And around that time, different stuff happened where the show got canceled and uncanceled and brought back again. Clone Wars has been through it, and it's persevered, man. What a great show, and it stands up against the test of time for the most part too, I think. Andor and Tales of the Jedi should be next Wednesday. Yes, thank you for confirming, Tim. You're the GOAT. Talented Mr. Griffin says, for some reason there's no message prompt for member chats. Member chats. Oh, there it is. Talented Mr. Griffin, thank you for being a member for 3 months. Thank you for being a part of the Empire. But does it stand up against the World Between Worlds? I don't know, man. I don't know. Speaking of the World Between Worlds, there's been a lot of conversation about the World Between Worlds. At least in my head there has been. I'm excited for World Between Worlds, and I think it's coming back in Ahsoka. I think we just got a hint in Andor between, the father, daughter, and the son. I don't think that was just there to just be there. I mean, it could have been. It could have just been a little Easter egg, and I'm going too deep. But I think there's multiples of these portals and different temples throughout the galaxy that have portals and openings to the World Between Worlds. And I would not be surprised at all if we see the World Between Worlds in Ahsoka. And if that's even the way that Thrawn and Ezra survive. I don't know any other person that survived going into hyperspace with broken glass and different things. Do you guys? I don't. I'm just saying. It's a long shot, but I want to see the World Between Worlds again. Do it, Dave. It would be poetic. It would rhyme. Ezra saves Ahsoka in the World Between Worlds. Ahsoka saves Ezra in the World Between Worlds. You know what I'm saying? The daughter and the son. And maybe. I always thought Ezra was kind of similar to Starkiller, and he's kind of like the son too, but I don't know. How will they use the World Between Worlds in live action without it being classified as typical time travel cliche? I think there's rules to the World Between Worlds, and I think the only 2 characters that we know of that have access to it or have been in it are Ahsoka and Ezra. So I don't think it's, especially the 2 of them, I don't think they're going to mess up too much with the timeline. I think they're probably the only 2 characters maybe that have ever accessed it. Just a long shot, but maybe. I don't know. I don't know how they would do it in live action, but I'm excited because I think they could do it. I think they could. Alright, y'all. I think we're going to get out of here in the next couple of minutes. So any last questions or thoughts for Andor tomorrow? I am super hyped for tomorrow's episode, so make sure to be here for the watch party, and I'll keep you guys updated, but maybe we'll do some more Ghost of Tsushima later tonight. It'll be a late one, but I might be down to play some more. Francisco Javier Sanchez Moreno says, it is told episode 7 is a conclusive chapter. Interesting. It definitely could be. And maybe it's a conclusive chapter for Mon Mothma. I'm just saying, we've been getting, like I said, we've been getting a lot of build-up for her character. Where's that build-up going? I don't know. I guess we could find out this next episode. Dawn says, I never perceived as time travel, classic parallel universe, or mirror world. Boom! I don't think it's time travel either. I think we're going to get more understanding of it. I mean, it technically has a portal and different openings to different time, but in a way it is a world between the worlds. It's like Narnia in a way, or I don't know how to explain it. It's very complex, but I love it. And either way, I like time travel stuff. I don't see any problem with that. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, OG, for the watch party. We're going to be doing the watch party tomorrow at 11:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So, adjust your clocks accordingly. That'd be 2:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And my brain is not going to work to do European or any of the other time zones. Francisco says episode 7 perhaps is a flashback episode. That definitely could be the case too. I think there's been some flashback sequences or scenes that we haven't seen yet. There were some not stormtroopers but clone troopers as well in some of the trailers as far as I saw. Maybe that was just edited footage, but I think we could get some more flashbacks. Maybe even see what happened to Andor's father. Maybe Andor goes back to Ferrix and says goodbye to his mom after, getting recruited again by Luthen or something. I don't know. I think there's gonna be some stuff in this episode though. No. 8 a.m. or so. There you go. 8 a.m. or so for the European time zone homies out there. That'll be tomorrow though. So tomorrow night for me at 11:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll see you guys there. Have we got a mid-season trailer? I don't think we have yet, Francisco. Maybe we'll get one tomorrow. I don't know. We'll have to keep our eyes out. Small says maybe they kill his mom. Damn. That could definitely happen. I guess we'll find out tomorrow. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate everybody for hanging out in the chat. You guys are the absolute best. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. It really helps us out. And smash that like button because that helps us out as well. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. And again, I appreciate all you guys for hanging out with me in the chat. Make sure to stay tuned for the watch party tomorrow. And peace. Have a good day, y'all. And may the force be with you always.